Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to The Natural Cook. I'm Anna Gershenson. Today I am going to share with you a couple of recipes that I'm very excited about. These are the recipes that have been in my life for a long time, and they both include cooking with cabbage. One is going to be cooked and one is going to be raw. And every recipe that I introduce on my show is not only delicious, but is full of health-promoting benefits. And today is no exception. So we are going to start with the cabbage pancake. I've been cooking cabbage pancakes growing up in Latvia. And all of a sudden, I had cabbage in my refrigerator that was sitting there, and I thought, oh, I have to throw my cabbage pancake together. But having moved here, I learned and was introduced to many wonderful ingredients. So I decided to make it not a Latvian pancake, but more like an Oriental pancake. And this is what we are going to do today. So we cook with cabbage. As I said to you, I already shredded this cabbage. And another ingredient that goes into it is a shredded carrot. Your carrot is going to be shredded on this shredder. And the cabbage, I just cut thinly sliced by knife. I'll show you how to do it later when I'm going to move on to my raw cabbage salad recipe. So prior to combining these, there is going to be also flavorings. So the flavorings that I put into it are ginger and turmeric and lots of garlic. So let's throw in the cabbage into the big bowl where you're going to be mixing it, and the carrot. And now we are going to make this batter that is going to be holding everything together. So we are going to take a couple of eggs. I try to get local eggs because I love using eggs from pastured chickens that are having a good life, and also get a lot of sun, eat worms and bugs. So we are just beating the eggs and adding half a cup of water. Okay. To the mix, and then we'll add flour. And add flour gradually. It will probably take 3/4 to 1 cup of flour. I will also season it because salt dilutes very nicely in liquid. And so we want to make sure that it's nicely seasoned. I'll also grind some pepper and make this slurry. So let's add the flour. It's I'm using white flour. You can use whole wheat pastry flour, which is lighter but has more nutrients. If you are gluten-free, I actually made it at home with coconut flour, and it was also very nice. So this is what your batter is going to look like. It's going to bind your vegetables together. But before we do that, we are going to add aromatics to your cabbage. So garlic, I put lots of garlic. And we are going to put another ingredient, which is something that people don't use a lot, but I really love it, and I love it for the nutritional qualities that it has to offer, and it's the leek. The leek can be eaten raw or cooked. The leek has tremendous amount of very powerful qualities. It has a lot of vitamin K, which is wonderful for your skin, for your bones. It's a bone building vitamin. And leek, turns out, is also a prebiotic, and this is something that we are going to talk about today as well. So besides the garlic, we are going to use also our ginger and turmeric. I bought fresh turmeric. So if you don't have fresh turmeric, you can add some dry turmeric to this mix, but I really like working with the fresh turmeric here. And turmeric is in the ginger family, and so you peel it just the way that you would be peeling your ginger, and then you are going to grate it and add it to your mix together with some chopped cilantro that will flavor it, and we'll slice some leek, and I'll show you how I clean the leek, because leeks grow in a sandy soil and they can be really, really dirty. And you want to make sure that you get rid of all of that dirt. Okay, so it smells so good. As soon as you start scraping ginger, you have this aroma that is unmistakable. All right, so let's grate some ginger. You really can be judicious about how much ginger you're putting. You know, this is not like a precise recipe that you have to follow, because otherwise, you know, something is going to go wrong. If you like more gingery flavor, if you like more of this nutritious benefit of the ginger, add more. If you have something against it, you don't have to add as much. So now the turmeric goes in as well. You could actually add these into your batter, so that way it probably would be distributed like more evenly right away, and you don't have to worry about mixing it too much. Okay, and now lots of garlic. I love adding garlic everywhere, and turns out that prebiotics, which are very, very special foods that, you know, we didn't hear much about. We usually hear probiotics, and we know how good they are for our gut. And probiotics are actually live organisms that live in your gut and that do the cleanup job in your gut. They actually move things around. But like all live organisms, they need to eat. So probiotics need that indigestible fiber that is going to be feeding the prebiotics. All right, so let's show you how I deal with the leek. So when you get the leek, first of all, there are a lot of like long green parts that you are not really usable. So I go around and I cut it, but I try to save as much of the like pale green. This one is trimmed pretty well. Usually they are really, really long. So pretend that I have running water, which I don't hear on the set, but you do at home. So I cut the leek lengthwise, and then the inner part is really clean, but the outer part might be full of sand. Like you see, there is a lot of dirt here. So this is really very convenient to remove under running water, or you can dip it into a bowl like I do, but running water is really much better because it just flushes it out, all that dirt. And after that, I will just dry it up a little bit, and I will slice it. So leek is one of the prebiotics that we want to include into our food. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to slice enough leek that I'm going to sprinkle on the pancake. You could sprinkle scallions once the pancakes are ready, but I want intentionally to use the leek because it gives you all those wonderful prebiotics that your gut needs. And the more of them there, the more food there is for your intestinal bacteria, and the happier your body will be. Okay, so I will put some of them into this batter, and some of them will go on top, as I said. And I also am going to use leeks in our cabbage salad that I'm going to show next. And in the meantime, I'm going to start preheating my skillet, okay, because we want to be cooking this pancake. And while it's cooking, I'm going to talk about, how to make this salad. All right. So I will save some, and I'll add to this as well as some cilantro, which we all know is a wonderful herb that cleanses us and removes heavy metals and also is delicious. I use stems in cilantro. Unlike in parsley, the stems are usable and they're tender and aromatic, so make sure to use them. All right, so once we mix this batter, once we mix all of that, we are going to form a pancake. We are going to use grapeseed oil to put in the pan, and we are going to make a pancake that is about 6 inches in diameter and 2 inches thick. And since it is, cabbage needs to cook, so we will cover so that the steam that's created there will help cook the cabbage, and it will cook for about 3 to 5 minutes on one side. We'll flip it, and then we'll cook it on the other side. And you want it to be nice and crispy. Okay, so let's combine them. Of course, hands work best here. My hands are my best tools. So I want to make sure that everything is mixed nicely together, that this batter is holding our cabbage and all other ingredients that we have here. And I'm glad I have my water here because I'll need to wash my hands. Okay, so looks like it's nicely mixed. And once the pancake is ready, we are going to also serve it with a very flavorful condiment. We are going to mix together mayo with some sriracha, and you can put anything you want on top of this pancake. Like, for example, you can put, you sprinkle with sesame seeds, you can sprinkle with scallions, and it's going to be delicious and nutritious. All right, so let me rinse my hands. Okay, and let's put some, yes, I'm cooking it in a non-stick skillet because this way it won't really, the pancake won't stick to the bottom of the pan, which is exactly what you want. Okay, and you want to preheat it so that it's kind of hot once you place it. This, I love my gas stove because gas heats up everything immediately, so this takes a little bit time. Okay, so what we are going to do is just put this, take like maybe 3/4 cup. If you want to make a bigger pancake, go ahead. You can make like a pancake that is the size of this pan, and then you can cut it into wedges when you are serving it. And that's, this is what I'm going to do because I want to cook the whole thing at once. So it will be a huge pancake. But when you are serving it to somebody, probably if you want to make more like a serving size, you can make it into a 6-inch pancake. All right. I can hear the sizzle starts warming up, spreading it. And when you're making this pancake, you can also add soy sauce to it. You can add toasted sesame oil. It depends on what flavor you want to give it. But this, I like the way it came out at home. All right, so let's cover. And let's move this back. And we will proceed to making our topping. So I will take just a little bit of mayo, like maybe, 2 tablespoons of mayo. And I will squirt sriracha into it. And our topping will be ready. Okay, so depends on how spicy you want it to be. You can add a couple of teaspoons to it. And if you are serving it to company, you can put it into a squirt bottle and just, drizzle it over. You can do it just with a spoon. Okay, so I can hear it sizzling. Now we are going to proceed to our next recipe, which is salad that I created actually for kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is this wonderful vegetable in the cabbage family that people usually don't know what to do with, but I love it. It's crunchy and delicious, and if you have it, then by all means include it into this salad recipe. I called it winter vegetable salad because it uses kind of winter vegetables. And here I'm going to show you what I do with a cabbage. Once I buy it, I would remove outer leaves because they are not really very appealing, and get to the part where it's nice and clean. And then I would cut it in half. And I try to pick a cabbage that is like heavy for its weight, and I feel that it's compact, because then you will have nice cabbage to slice. So then I put it, you can remove the core, but I like keeping it because it kind of keeps the leaves together and I don't have to worry that they will start falling apart. So I'm going to just start cutting cabbage thinly, and then we're going to combine it with other ingredients. So cabbage has also a lot of nutrients, like leeks have vitamin K, so does cabbage. It has also a lot of vitamin C. It has sulforaphane, which is wonderful for your skin, for your gut, for fighting cancer. In other words, all these vegetables, all the ingredients that I'm using today are incredibly nutritious, and of course they are delicious. Now we started talking about prebiotics. There are certain foods that are very high in prebiotics, and those are foods like chicory root that we were talking about when Carol Kaufman came here, and she said that you can forage it here in the Berkshires. This is like the highest content of prebiotic fiber that chicory root has. Also, there is something like dandelion. Dandelion greens have a lot of wonderful fiber. So we shredded some cabbage. Now I'm also adding celery. And as you know already by now, I love using celery, raw celery in salads. It just gives a wonderful crunch and juiciness and flavor, and also it's really, really good for you, and it also has a lot of fiber. Like I said, the leeks would have prebiotics if they are raw, but onion is a wonderful prebiotic food that is cooked or uncooked, as well as garlic. Garlic you need to use raw in order to get prebiotic qualities, but also apple with its pectin. And this is also another thing that we are going to add to our salad. So Granny Smith probably is wonderful to use, but I got Northern Spy because it grows locally, and I love this apple, and I just cannot wait usually when it starts appearing in our farmers markets. And this is what I use to take the core out. This is like a melon bola, and I'll show you what I do with apples. I would julienne them. So I would cut it into slices, thin slices, like that. And I won't even separate them. Like I'll let them stick together and slice about 1/8 of an inch thick. And then I'm going to fan them out and slice them into thin sticks that are going to become part of our salad. Besides this, and I also add some turkey bacon that is very savory. So this is a savory salad and a savory pancake. All right, so now I'm going to fan out my apples like this. And then this way, it's really very easy. I hold it like that, and it's very easy to julienne it. And if you were using kohlrabi, you would be doing exactly the same thing. You would peel the kohlrabi, and you'll slice it thinly, and then you would fan it out and holding it tightly, because otherwise it will start moving. The apples are wet, and of course they would start moving. It will try to escape you like this one is doing to me. Okay, so again, returning to prebiotics, remember how we had Pac-Man that was eating all these like little dots? So this is what happens actually in your stomach, that your probiotics, which are like a Pac-Man, that's how they eat and nourish themselves on these prebiotics, that undigestible fiber. Okay, so we are going to I'll use this to put all of my ingredients so that I can mix them, and I like mixing them on a flat surface as well as some leeks. You can also use shallot in this recipe, but I intentionally used leeks because I wanted to talk about prebiotics and to explain to you why they are so important in your diet. Okay, so let's see what's happening with our pancake. Okay. It is actually cooking nicely, and what I'm going to show you is my trick with the big pancake, which is difficult to flip. So I put it on a plate, and then I just flip it like this, and then I'll continue cooking. And now the cabbage is soft, so you really, I'm increasing heat to brown it. You really don't need to cook it anymore, meaning you don't need to soften the cabbage. Okay, so my ingredients are here. I will also use this lovely turkey bacon that will go there. And we are going to dress the salad with just a little bit of mayo and lemon juice, maple syrup, mustard, all the things that go nicely with our ingredients. Okay. All right. So I use, when I buy mayo, I pick mayo that is organic, because the oils that I usually use for mayo are either canola or soybean oil, and these are both GMO foods that I refuse to give access to my body. So I recommend the same thing. And I don't use a lot of mayo in my dishes, but when I do, I really try to be very discerning as to, you know, what kind I use. So I'll have like maybe a couple of tablespoons of my mayo, a couple of teaspoons of mustard, then some salt. Remember that bacon is salty, so you don't want to put too much salt. You'll always taste it. Lemon juice. I squeeze the juice of 1 lemon. And we are going to add some maple syrup. Okay. All right. And then we'll taste it. And then another thing that I always like including greens, so I'm going to chop some parsley. Okay, let's taste. Lovely, savory. I'll add a little bit more maple syrup and a little bit more mustard because I really wanted the flavor to pop, because once you add it to vegetables, they are going to absorb all these flavors, and that's what will make the salad delicious. Okay, let's chop some parsley, and then we can mix it and taste it. Okay, just hold it together in a bowl and chop, chop, chop. All right. So I assure you that you will have a lot of happy eaters with both of these dishes. And the pancake you can make in advance if you want to, and then you can pop it into the oven to warm it up. So it's also same with the salad. You can make it in advance. All right. So let's mix it together with our dressing and taste it. Okay. All right. So the interesting quality of cabbage is also that it is it's cooling. So if you have a headache, put a leaf of cabbage on your forehead, and it will relieve you from headache. Okay, lovely. So let's plate our salad. Okay. And let's take care of our pancake. All right. We'll drizzle it with some of our mayo. And sprinkle with and seeds. So you have 2 lovely dishes. Make them at home. Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.